What began as a prison sentence over a controversial tweet has now escalated into something far more disturbing. A new revelation from inside HMP Peterborough has shocked supporters and critics alike, raising serious questions about justice, political bias, and the treatment of prisoners in modern Britain. Before we get into it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. A disturbing new development has emerged in the case of Lucy Connolly, the former childminder and political prisoner currently serving a 2.5-year sentence for a controversial social media post. Reform UK Deputy Leader Richard Tice has now revealed that Connolly has been left physically bruised and psychologically shaken after allegedly being violently dragged by prison officers, sparking a fresh wave of outrage and calls for justice reform. According to Tice, who visited Connolly at HMP Peterborough on Tuesday, she was forcibly restrained, tightly handcuffed, and dragged up 3 flights of stairs by multiple officers without clear justification. The incident has reportedly left her with significant bruising, still visible 5 days later. Even more concerning, Connolly was then moved to an entirely inappropriate prison wing, one that houses some of the most violent offenders, and placed under a 23-hour-a-day lockdown. This shocking treatment, Tice argues, is just the latest example of the political nature of Connolly's imprisonment. Lucy's bill has arisen because of the 2-tier justice system that now exists in the United Kingdom, said Tice. This has made Lucy Connolly a political prisoner. Connolly's imprisonment stems from a tweet she posted in the aftermath of the Southport murders, where she called for mass deportation now and made incendiary remarks about migrant hotels. Despite the tweet being strongly worded and controversial, many, including legal experts, believe the punishment she received was grossly disproportionate. Tice described Connolly as a model prisoner who has generally maintained good conduct behind bars. Yet despite this, her basic rights appear to have been denied. Requests for temporary leave on compassionate grounds have been refused, and a sudden relocation to a high-security unit seems unjustified, raising fears of political retaliation. Regrettably, she is the victim of political intervention in our justice system, Tice warned. In response, Tice is set to introduce a new piece of legislation, Lucy's Bill, which he hopes will act as a backstop to prevent excessive or politically motivated sentencing. Under this proposal, if 500 or more members of the public believe a sentence is clearly wrong, they would have the power to trigger a triple-check sanity review to reassess the case. The bill will be introduced under the 10-minute rule, a rarely successful but symbolically powerful parliamentary process that allows backbench MPs to propose legislation and register it on the record. Tice has made it clear that while the path to enshrining the bill in law is uncertain, this move is about shining a light on the wider issue of selective justice. I want to reassure Lucy that many of us as MPs, we're not forgetting about her, Tice said. This could become part of her legacy. Supporters of Connolly's case argue that her sentence represents a dangerous precedent, where political opinion and freedom of speech are being criminalized under the guise of public order. Noted barrister James Bogle BL has slammed the ruling as manifestly excessive, stating that perpetrators of far more serious crimes, including violent disorder and affray, have received shorter and more lenient sentences than Connolly. When sentences begin to defy the common sense of the ordinary person, Bogle warned, then the criminal justice system risks falling into serious disrepute. This latest twist, combined with the brutal treatment Connolly is said to have suffered in custody, has only strengthened calls for accountability, transparency, and reform. With Lucy's bill soon to be debated, the case is quickly becoming a flashpoint in the wider battle over free speech, judicial overreach, and what many are calling the weaponization of the legal system against dissenting voices. British Stand has contacted the Ministry of Justice for comment. In other news, Reform UK councillor David Buckley has accused Labour of massaging the figures when it comes to asylum claims after figures appeared to confirm that more than 50,000 rejected asylum seekers remain in Britain's hotels. According to official government data, 50,976 asylum appeals remain unresolved as of March this year, with more than 30,000 of those people remaining in asylum hotels. Speaking to the media, Councillor for Datchet, Horton and Raisbury David Buckley warned that there could potentially be more than 200,000 asylum seekers living at the taxpayers' expense in Britain. Sharing details of the migrant hotel situation in his constituency, Buckley revealed that asylum seekers were removed from the local hotel just 2 weeks ago. Buckley said, "It has been an issue in our patch. We actually had the asylum seekers removed from our hotel about 2 weeks ago. But that's the second time they've been in our hotel over the last 3 years, previously by the Conservative leadership and now by the Labour leadership. But yes, it is something that obviously has affected us and may affect us again." Highlighting the backlog of migrants remaining in the UK despite having claims rejected, host Tom Harwood told Buckley that many Britons would be shocked by the state of the country's asylum claim system. He stated, "A lot of people will be shocked to hear that someone can have their asylum application rejected and still be living at the taxpayer's expense for months, sometimes even years. And this despite our very high acceptance rate of people in the first place, even those who have rejected stay here." Buckley responded, "I remember statistics in 2023 of 150,000 asylum seekers waiting for processing, and they were only processing at 15,000 a year then, and that would have taken 10 years to process the people that are already here, let alone the number that have come since that time. So I think there's a lot of massaging the figures by the government. I do not believe the figures. The 50,000 on appeal, plus at least 150,000 that have not even gone through the process yet, you're looking at over 200,000 people, maybe a lot more, who are living at taxpayers' expense." When pressed by host Emily Carver on the housing shortages in his constituency, Buckley revealed that around 3 years ago, there were around 4,000 people waiting on housing. He said, "We had a housing waiting list 3 years ago of around about 3,500 to 4,000 people, and that's without taking in sofa surfers or anyone else who's living with family or friends from day to day. Our local council has built 6 council houses in the last 10 years. The government could refinance councils just to build council housing, just social housing, and exclude obviously new people coming into the country. We could solve our social housing for our families and local people overnight." In a statement, the Home Office said, "We inherited an asylum system under exceptional pressure, and we make no apologies for taking the necessary and immediate action to restore order, increasing asylum decision-making, and returning nearly 30,000 people with no right to be here." The figures and accusations laid out by Councillor Buckley paint a stark picture of a system under immense strain, with growing frustration over the cost, scale and pace of asylum processing. As concerns mount over housing shortages and unresolved claims, the debate around immigration, accountability and government transparency looks set to remain a major political flashpoint. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.